What's happening, everybody? How you doing? This is Crystal Smith, and it's just a gorgeous day in Washington, D.C. Actually, today I'm at Fort Washington in Fort Washington, Maryland. Did you know that today is National Lighthouse Day? I was sitting down doing some reading and researching last night, and it turns out there literally is a day for everything. Just so happens that today, August 7th, is National Lighthouse Day. So I started thinking about lighthouses, and you see lighthouse decor everywhere. What is it about lighthouses that intrigue people or that draw people in? So I started doing some research, and the National Park Service says that lighthouses serve two main purposes. One, they notate or demark in the darkness an important location for travelers, people who are traveling by ship. And also, they are typically put in dangerous places to make sure that they light the way to keep ships from running aground or running into a dangerous area in the water. So it made me start to think about the people who have helped me along the way. So that really got me to thinking about, lighting the way and lighthouses lighting the way. As a sales leader in my past, I have managed several teams in the hospitality industry, and I started thinking about how when you become a sales leader and you're going into that new position, you don't really know what's ahead of you. You're traveling in uncharted waters, but also your sales team is traveling in uncharted waters. So you go in, and oftentimes I would find that I had a sales team that was brand new. They hadn't had very much in the way of formal training. Or I had a sales team that had been around for years, and they've been jaded by constant turnover and uncertain times. And I think that's kind of the purpose of a lighthouse. I started to think of myself as a lighthouse. It was my job as a sales leader to light the way, to show them where they needed to go, to show them the important places, to show them when they were possibly running into a dangerous situation. But then I started to think that's what all good leaders and all coaches do. All leaders, all coaches light the way. They help us to find our way, even if we might be somewhat familiar with that area. You can have a leader or a coach who steps in and shows you, hey, watch out for this or watch out for that. So with that, it made me start to think about this economy and the pandemic and the times that we're living in right now, and how many people have found themselves now navigating uncharted waters. Here we are in a situation that this country hasn't been in over 100 years. So not for 100 years could we have imagined ourselves being in a situation where the jobs that you may have been in for 20 or 30 years, or even jobs that you were in for the last 5 years, and you just knew that was going to be your career, that job may not exist when we come out of this pandemic. So what are you going to do? If you find yourself in a position where all of a sudden that job, that career move that you thought you had going on is now either no longer existent, or you're not sure when it's going to come back after the pandemic, what is your next move? What path will you take? You might find yourself in uncharted waters. So I'm here today because I've talked to so many people over the years. I've been in the sales industry as a manager, as an account representative, as a leader for over 20 years. And in that time, I've come across so many people who I've reached out to, and I've said, oh my gosh, I think you would be great at sales. You have the personality, you have the organizational skills, you have the charm and the know-how to do this. And so many times I've had these same people tell me, well, I'm afraid to go into sales, or, I've never done sales before. I don't want to have a sales goal. I don't know. I don't like asking people for money. And it made me think, coming out of this pandemic, we are going to find that some of the first jobs that are going to open up are sales jobs that allow you to be able to determine your own income, sales jobs that may pay you a salary and a bonus, or sales jobs that may not pay you a salary. That sales job may just pay you straight commission, but the commission is uncapped. So then you get to determine your own salary. Are you prepared for that? Or are you one of those people who says, I could never do sales. I'm afraid to talk to people. I'm afraid to ask people for money. I'm afraid that people will not like me anymore. I'm afraid that people will reject me. You might find yourself in those uncharted waters. You might find yourself scrolling those job boards and passing by those sales positions because you've never tried it or you've heard bad things about it. But if you have the right coach and the right leadership, you can find someone who can light your path, who can show you the way. If you stick with me over the course of the next few weeks and over the course of the next few months, I'm going to help you and be talking to you about how to get over that fear. How can you open yourself up to the marketplace, which is undoubtedly going to open up? And when it opens up, will you be ready? I can help you get ready. And I'm so excited to take this journey with you. Thank you so much for taking time to listen and hang out with me. But I guarantee you, if you keep tuning in, you are going to find yourself in an elevated position to take advantage of all of the things that are going to be available to us coming out of these uncertain times. Thanks so much, everybody. My name is Crystal Smith, and I'll see you later.